Hi everybody, I have some book hauls to show you. So let's jump straight into it. I have one that I picked up from Amazon and I have three more Vinted parcels to share with you. I'm going to show you the Amazon book first. So I picked up this collection, it would be back in February, I think it was. And I picked it up because I'd heard quite a bit about it, and it sounds and looks like a series that I would really enjoy. This is the Plated Prisoner series, and I picked up the first four books from TikTok shop because it was a really good price. And when I went on, whenever I buy like book series like that, I always like to go and have a look on Amazon to see where in the series, how many there are, and realised that this was at the time, was a 5 book series, but the sixth book was due to come out pretty soon. So I picked up book 5 and pre-ordered book number 6. I haven't started this series yet because I am somebody who likes to read the entire series in one go. But my pre-order of a Goldfinch came in yesterday, and I can't wait to get this series going. My only problem is I don't think it's in my jar because it came this year, and I haven't really updated my jar with any of my new book series in there. It sounds so good. This is the 6th and final one. I'll read you the blurb on this one. So it says, "Find me in another life, find me in them all. One king caged my body, another has caged my mind. War has broken out between Anwin and Oria, and though that's not the only battle being waged, there's a fight in me, and they tried to strip me down and hollow me out. Yet they've forgotten one thing, the ancient magic of the pair bond. One can never truly be lost when two souls are already bound. Because Slade and me, we are connected by more than just fated magic, and we will always find each other in any life. The Fey King is trying to destroy me, my heritage, my memory, but what he hasn't realised is this. Gold bends, but stone breaks, and a goldfinch does not fall, it flies." Oh, I really want to read this series like as soon as I possibly can. I have just started Agatha Raisin, and I have a feeling that I've got a couple more Agatha Raisins in one of my Vinted hauls. But I really want to get this series started as soon as I possibly can. So we'll see when that happens. But really pleased that this is coming. It is the final book. And yeah, so excited to get into that one. And then let's get these parcels open. I picked these up this morning. I'm not sure which ones are here. I've got a couple of book parcels on the way from Vinted. So let's get into it. Yes. So this book I have been wanting since probably around last autumn. And I kept looking at it and it never really came on a good price. Never thought to check Vinted out, you know. And I kept seeing some really good things about it. I feel like it went round quite a bit, and I just never managed to pick it up. However, I was on Vinted and somebody had this. It was only been read once, so pretty much like brand new. And I think I only paid something like £5 for it, which I was more than happy with. So this one is Rewitched by Lucy Jane Wood. Um, really excited to get into this. It is supposed to be really, really good. I'm kind of into my witchy type books. I read quite a few last year, and there's something about the cover on this that I really, really like. I figured for a £5 that was really good price. There was like the buy fees and that on top, but it still worked out cheaper to get this than it did to get it brand new. So I can't wait to get into that one. Then we have another one. Just hoping I can get into these. This one's actually really well packaged. I will say most of these have been really well packaged. There's just one where the bag has opened. And to be fair, that's more of a delivery issue than a packaging issue, like it is in a normal packet. Ah, yes. So this next one has 3 books in. So I managed to pick up a bundle of the Laurie Gilmore books. Now, I have actually read these first 2. So I've read The Pumpkin Spice Cafe and I've read The Cinnamon Bun Bookstore. I borrowed both of these from the library last year and I quite enjoyed them. Like, they're quite easy to get through, I found, and they're pretty good. Like, I did really enjoy them. Um, but then I really wanted to carry on the series with the Christmas Tree Farm, and my library just didn't seem to have it in, or they certainly didn't before Christmas, which is when I really wanted to read it. And it was really strange because the Cinnamon Bun Bookstore, they did get that one. Like, I was on a pre-order for getting it at the library, but they just didn't seem to for this. I know that there is now the strawberry patch shortcake something. I can't remember what it's called, but I know that there is another one out. And I believe on Amazon there is a 5th book that you can pre-order for later in the year. But yeah, I really wanted to read this one, and somebody was selling this bundle. The first one has been read. These second 2 haven't. These 2 are brand new. I did get a copy of the Cinnamon Bun Bookstore in one of my big bundles of books last week before. But I probably just will sell the duplicate because I don't need more than 1 copy. But I'm really pleased to get these 3. I can now read that one, and I'm going to buy the new one as well because yeah, I quite enjoy them. I did enjoy them. So happy with that one. And then I have one final one. So this one has 6 books in it. So if you've been watching my channel, or even if you've just gone back and watched some of my older videos, you will know that I've been on a mission to collect the MC Beaton books, in particular the Agatha Raisin ones, although I have also been picking up some of her other ones. So I've got a few of the Hamish Macbeth ones, and I have also done I can't remember what the series was now. The Travelling Matchmaker or something. I think I've got 4 of those. And I've done really well. I've collected quite a few of them, but I was a few short. And I found a seller who had got a lot of the ones that I needed. I am still 2 books short. I am keeping an eye on Vinted to see if I can find them somewhere. But at the minute, I either can only find them in a big bundle where I don't need the extra books, or they're from individual sellers. And by the time I've factored in the buyer's fees and postage, it works out the same price as it does me just buying them brand new off of Amazon. So as much as I'm trying to hold off of doing that, there may come a time where I have to because I can't get them all. But there was a seller, and she had 4 of the ones that I were missing, and she had some other books, and I did end up picking up a couple of extras. I know, I really don't need any, but I've managed to get a few of them. So she had Dead on Target, which is one that I needed. These were all £1. She had them all up for £1, which by the time I then put into a bundle made it worthwhile getting. So this one says, a visit to the local village fair is a spot of fun and relaxation, turns into a nightmare for Agatha Raisin when she discovers the body of the local landowner in the woods, with an arrow in his chest and his trousers around his ankles. At first, her old adversary, Detective Chief Inspector Wilkes, declares the death a tragic accident, believing the victim has been hit by a stray arrow from an archery demonstration. Agatha is convinced the man was murdered and is shocked when Wilkes eventually agrees, particularly as he considers her to be his prime suspect. Determined to clear her name and find the real killer, Agatha launches her own investigation, quickly becoming involved with a family at war, an unscrupulous gangster, and a murderer who is determined to make her the next victim. So, really excited with that. Then I managed to pick up Love, Lies and Liquor. This one is Sea, Sand and the Slammer for Agatha. Agatha Raisin thinks she's in for a treat when her ex-husband James Lacey invites her on holiday. But horrors. His idea of an idyllic break is the small rundown resort of Bury Hill on Sea. From there on in, things go from bad to worse when a fellow guest in their hotel is found murdered, and Agatha finds herself the chief suspect and has to solve this case from a locked police cell. She's always thought of as being the suspect. Then we have There Goes the Bride. It's a case of match and dispatch for Agatha. A less than welcome invitation to ex-husband James's wedding to a beautiful younger woman lands on Agatha's doormat. But it's one wedding and a funeral when the bride is murdered on her big day. Prime suspect Agatha finds her world turned upside down, and not just because the bride's mother wants her to take on the case of her murdered daughter. Agatha has also fallen head over heels in love with a sexy Frenchman. Nonetheless, she's dependably on hand to catch the killer and untangle her own love life. And then the last one in this one is Agatha Raisin and the Haunted House. A vengeful ghost comes back to haunt the living. Reports of a haunted house soon have Agatha snooping around, but it turns out the victim of the haunting is a universally disliked old biddy on whom someone is playing a practical joke, and then the old lady is murdered. But for Agatha, solving a crime is much more fun than hunting a ghost. Very soon she's up to her usual tricks involving the villagers, local police, and of course, her handsome new neighbour. This one was quite early on. I want to say this is something like book 14, so it kind of broke up my orders. So I'm really glad I've got this. I think the last two books I've got to get are, I think it's Hot to Trot and Devil's Delight, and they're both quite far along. I think they're something like books 31 and 33 or something like that. So I've now got enough to really get into the Agatha Raisin series. I have made a start on book 1 because I managed to get through a lot of my TBR for this month, but we'll see how we go with them. And then the other two books that were in this were two just odd books that I happened to fancy. This first one is Summer Daydreams by Carol Matthews. Got a couple of Carol Matthews books. Don't know if I've actually read any. I'm not sure. But I do quite like these rom-com-y, and this is a really floppy book. Look at that. That makes me happy. It makes it so much easier to be able to read without cracking the spine. But for just £1, I figured it was worth picking up. And then the next one is Debbie McComber, The Little Bookshop of Promises. I love Debbie McComber. I've read quite a few of her books, and I love her writing style. I always find that they're ones that I get into really quickly. It helps that it's my style of front cover as well, so it really draws me in. Yeah, there's just something about her writing that I absolutely love. She's one of my favourites for like a rom-com type book. So yeah, really happy with that. And that is today's big book bundle. So we have this one. We have Bewitched. See if I can stand them all on top of each other. We have the Laurie Gilmore series, which I'm really happy with. Put that on there. Ooh. And then we have the Goldfinch as well. Thank you so much for joining me here today. If you've read any of these, please do let me know. Let me know what you think to the Plated Prisoner series, because I'm really excited for that one. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, a wonderful rest of your week, and happy reading.